Hello. Well, in this particular video, as per the title, we are gonna break the movie Matrix once and for all. We are gonna break the movie Matrix, okay? Once and for all. It's gonna be a lot, so take notes if you can follow, right? So let's begin from the bottom, okay? So we have this movie called City of Ember, right? And we have that thing that we've been talking about, fire and ice, blue and red, right? And we have the boy leading the girl out of the red, right? And this is how you break this matrix, okay? Let me find another picture of this. That one. It's the same thing, right? The boy helping this girl out of this area, right? So let's find the movie itself and the actor's name, okay? It's all in their names, people, okay? Here is the poster, City of Embers, and if you read at the stars, the film of the stars, okay, there is Cyrosi or something like that, okay? So we are gonna find the meaning of Cyrosi and Ronan, okay? Cyrosi and Ronan, okay? So I'm gonna keep pausing so as I can find the thing, right? So Cyrosi and Ronan. Cyrosi means liberty, right? Liberty. And Ronan means little seal, right? Little seal. Now you have to take their names and use them as a single word, okay? So Ronan and liberty. So little seal of liberty, right? The seal of liberty, right? The promise, or whatever a seal can mean, right? An agreement. Okay, let's get back, right? And then we have a guy now, okay? The guy, his name is Harry Treadaway, right? Harry Treadaway. So we find the Harry, right? Okay, to attack or raid, as in war. So Harry means war, okay? And the other one, Treadaway, comes from the word tread, right? To step on or to walk over, right? So this is very scripture, right? Very, very scripture. So tread away is to tread or to step on, right? And the scripture says that the seed of man will step on the head of the serpent, will tread, right? And that image even goes on into further revelations about what is going to happen after the assault on, basically the assault on Zion fails. What happens after that, right? So it says that we will tread in their cities, right? And they will be powerless against us. Okay, so we know now the prince is which, and so war can step on, right? And the woman, the girl, is Sarosi, meaning liberty, and Lonan meaning little seal, right? So this is the first movie. You can see the electrified E over there, right? So again, it's about two people. Where we go one, we go all. So they don't need an entire thing. They just need the tip of that spear. Okay? And of course we have the two kingdoms, yeah? The kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of hell. And they're meeting and they're summiting. Right? Liberty and war are supposed to be opposites. right? They're supposed to be opposites, right? And that theme continues, right? We find this movie, right? It's called Elemental. It's actually a new one, right? And in this movie, we have fire and water falling in love, right? And at first, they clearly show that this love is not possible, okay? Because either fire turns water to steam and basically changes form forever, or the water extinguishes the fire. But in this movie, they make it work. Okay, going back to that same situation, it's all about two people, right? And now, as usual, let's put in their names. Okay, let's use their names. It's just a simple thing we can do, right? So, the movie is called Elementals, right? We have another cover here for the movie, right? You can see the colors, right? Okay, remember the colors. Do not forget the colors. Okay, the colors are important. As I've shown you, these are the colors, right? So let's find elementals. Where is elementals? Elementals there, right? It's actually a 2023 film. Okay, and as usual, go to the stars, the sounds, the voice. Leah Lewis, right? So first search for the name Leah, right? Find the name Leah. Is that? Yeah, Leah, right? Leah actually derived from Hebrew, the first wife of Jacob. Wary, right? Leah, wary. So there is already a connection to a prince, right? Leah. And now we're going to find the word Lewis, right? Famous warrior. You see the theme repeating? Famous warrior, right? And if we go to the scripture, the famous warrior is David, going back to that same war, right? And of course, so we go back and find the other name, right? So we have already found Leah Lewis, right? Now we have to find Mamauduo Athi, right? And here things get a little bit interesting, right? And it's almost impossible to find these names and their meanings on the interwebs. Believe me, you, right? Not that. Not that. Mamauduo, where is it? Let me find it. There, Mamauduo. It originates in West Africa. It is particular countries of Mali, Ghana, and so on and so on. Okay, which means one who is praised. Right, we come back to that famous. You see the situation that we're dealing with here. Okay, so that is Mamauduo, right? And the other one is Athi, which means wise. Okay, so we already see the similarities. Okay, it does not stop, people. Believe me, you. Believe me, you. Okay, so let's take another one, right? I did this one also. It is the same theme, right? We have red and blue, right? Red and blue, and we have a theme of love, right? This is the conspiracy, people. So we find the main characters of this conspiracy. Alfonso Herrera, right? We find Alfonso. What does Alfonso mean? Right, let me find. Here we are. Okay, Alfonso is a Spanish Italian, right? Masculine. It means noble, right? Noble. You see the theme, right? If you write these words and group them into two groups, you'll see the similarities and it will be quite eerie, right? Noble, and ready, right? That is Alfonso, right? So I'm actually gonna leave that second name, Hannah Moray, okay? You enter it into the system, right? And the entirety of that name has to come out to famous, noble, warrior, right? So that is The Chosen, okay? It's this movie right here, The Chosen, about the same conspiracy, about that same simulation that they are planning to run on this famous noble warrior, right? It does not end there, right? So we have this movie, right? Gemini Man, right? And of course we have fire and we have ice, yeah? We have the blue and we have the red. What is this about? Okay, it's all about the name, right? What does William mean, right? What does William mean? You find that and you find out everything, right? William, strong-willed, resolute protector, resolute protector, okay? Going back to that theme of that warrior, okay? Resolute protector, right? That's the definition of the word William, right? And Smith meaning a blacksmith, okay? It's taken from blacksmith, so it has to do something with iron, okay? And of course the Bible uses this word. It says the Lord will tread and trample upon the nation with an iron rod, and also will use that same rod to look after his flock, okay? These words are in the Bible over there, right? So I'm opening your eyes now to what is, okay? I'm opening your eyes to what is. So again, Will Smith, okay? So we have a warrior and something to do with smithing, iron, okay, or silver or anything like that, but metals in general, okay? So that is the movie Gemini Man, okay? And it's another simulation where they literally, the beast clones the priest, clones the prince, and basically they form a collaboration, right? I don't want to ruin the movie for you, right? But it's just a simulation, okay? The words say it all, but you need to establish what is what and have perspective on what exactly are you looking at, okay? And this is the aim of that of this video, right? So that is Gemini Man, okay? So we have watched this movie, right? City of Embers, okay? We have watched The Elementals, we have watched The Chosen, right? We have watched Gemini Man, right? And now we are going to another situation, right? This one, Infinities, it's the same thing, it's the same thing, two forces facing each other, right? The tip of the spear. And this movie is all about remembering, right? It's all about remembering, and them trying to tell this guy that you are this person, right? And basically at the end of the time, this guy dies, dies. He says it in the movie, like, I died, So this is them taking over the prince's body, and of course the black man is there appropriately, right? So let's go to the meaning of the word mark. Mark exactly means what it says. Mark. Mark means mountain, right? Mark means mountain. Let me find it here. Mark means exactly like that, an impression, a symbol, or whatever. Mark as in mark as we know it, yes? But when you add Mark and Wahlberg, something interesting happens, okay? Because Warburg is basically another word for mountain. So the marked mountain, aka Apollo, aka the beast, aka the Antichrist, the Antichrist will mark the people, right? So it's a mountain of mark, okay? You can do, for funs and giggles, for yourself, you can Google and enter the name of this guy, and trust me, to come back to that same thing, okay? No wonder he's holding a weapon over there. He's a warrior and protector, okay? And that's what exactly he's doing in this movie, right? He's protecting their little secret, their little world, okay? It's a dark movie, but everything is about perspective, right? As long as they keep controlling the narrative, people remain unaware, right? So let's move on. Let's find this movie, right? I was looking for the Infinities movies and this came up, right? And I said, you know what? I'm quite sure by now it's about the same agenda, right? And guess what? It is, right? Let's look at the words, the starings, Devika, Basi. Okay, so we find Devika and Basi and we find the meaning, right? Devika, right? What does Devika mean? It is actually hard to find this. It's little goddess. Little goddess is the meaning of Devika, right? And Basi, it was actually harder to find. It is buffalo, right? Buffalo. So we have little goddess, buffalo, right? That's the name of the first character, right? That's like on your nose right there, right? It's on your nose. And of course we have the umbrella, which is the syringe, right? And as usual, it's a ritual, okay? Remember the two pillars? It's a ritual. So one guy is initiating the other to the secret schools, right? Basically lying to them and perversing their journey, right? Because they are looking for answers, right? And this is what they were backing on, right? So, another thing, right? This one, the most recent. So we already know what Mark Wahlberg is, right? But what about Jonathan Ramui? Ramui, the guy that played, apparently he did a movie called, he played Jesus, right? It was called The Chosen, right? And look at the color palette, people. Look at the color palette. Look at the color palette. That's what it's about, okay? It's simple. We go back to this little thing here, right? It's right there, right? Look at the color palette. The color palette tells you everything, okay? But now we are going deeper, right? We're talking about Jonathan Ramon. So we're gonna find Jonathan. Yeah, do we have a Jonathan? Find Ramon is there, right? Helper, adaptable, strengthful, right? So we come to that noble, warrior. It's all bundled in the same thing, right? And strengthful, and that's a warrior, right? Ramon, and then we have to find the Jonathan. Here's the Jonathan. God has given. So God has given strength. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the marked mountain versus the one that God has given strength. Okay, you understand now what this whole op is about? That's why Mark Wahlberg is in the front, right? Because it is the beast system, okay? And they have made this, I don't know, this app called Halo, and it's actually activated today, right? They released this app called Halo, right? And right there in front of your eyes, I just broke the matrix for you, right? They call it the best Catholic prayer app. Like, are you freaking serious right now? Okay, I just showed you the symbolism right there in their names, and that's why they were used. Not because they had talent or anything like that. It's all psyops. It's all psyops. Okay, and you have to be really like deep into psyops to even understand what these people are talking about, right? So this app here is demonic. Okay, just because of the people involved. Okay, I don't have to. I'm not even biased about them, right? They're evil, and they're part of Hollywood, right? And you can, even this movie, right? We have the piano on top of the guy, right? And we have the light, and of course we have the blue. Okay, so the symbol is like the same, still the same, right? And in this movie the guy fears syringes, right? He's afraid of syringes, and he gets put into a mental institution. Yeah, like the same simulation they ran Joker, right? They put Joker in a mental institution to break him. Okay, they made him like that. Okay, so that is just a simulation, right? So let me clean up here real quick. So one little thing before I clean up and we move on, right? So we have Alfonso Herrera, right? I have this Herrera here, right? We talked about Smith being about iron, right? And Herrera is also weirdly about iron, or pertaining to iron, which is a symbol of strength and power, right? Yeah. So yeah. So let's recap. We have seen, we have decoded this movie, right? We have decoded that movie, right? We have decoded this movie. We have decoded that movie, right? And we have also decoded these two idiots, these antichrist demons, right? You should see this. Should see this photo in color. It's a joke. We have seen this, yeah. And I've also left you with a little assignment, and add on to that. I think we have already done with Smith. Okay, what is this about, do you think? It's about that, William Smith. Okay, the iron, right? The iron rod. They're talking in code, like in deep biblical code, people, like sheesh. If this was not revealed to me, I would never piece it together, right? So talking about brain damage, let's get this out of the way, right? So they say apparently this is a normal brain compared to the brain of this one Greg Plotes, right? Which is the brain image at the bottom, who played defensive tackle for the Texas Longhorns. Okay, remember the horns? What does the horns mean? Okay, we talked about the horns. You can look at the previous video before this, right? We talk about horns, right? Who suffered severe chronic traumatic, that whatever that word is, right? Again, it's a psyop. Let's look at the names, right? Greg Plotes, it's a weird name, isn't it? Okay, so let's look at Greg. What does Greg mean? It's a boy name. Protective force. Did I even make this up, people? I just literally showed you everything right here in your face. Protective force. A protective force. Watchful and vigilant. A warrior. Right? Okay, and what does protez mean? Roach, hence the nickname of someone thought to resemble the fish, or metronymic occupational name for someone who caught and sold these fishes, right? Remember the first thing that Jesus told one of his first disciples. What did he tell him? I'm going to make you the fisherman of men, right? You're going to fish for men, not literal fish, right? So they're using that symbolism, right? So the protector of the fish, the protector of the flock, Okay, that's the meaning of the word. This is what they are saying to themselves in secret, and that's what they're transmitting to each other in their little demonic cycles of witchcraft. They are saying that they are going to cause a brain damage to the protector of the fish. Okay, this is what this is what they are saying with this picture. Nobody would. It's not easy to figure it out, but it's quite easy to figure it out. I just showed you how to do it, right? So, with that regard, let's look at this picture. More brain damage. It's a psyop, right? It's a psyop. Look at the heart, people. Look at the heart. What's the color of the heart? Let's go back to our palette. Does it exist? Yep, it does. Right? The first second, yeah. It's there. It's right there. Yeah. So they are mocking the prince. So this guy is basically the prince. Yeah. So you get the whole Selena Gomez connection now. Okay, these people are playing simulations on top of simulations. Okay, it's a whole operation, people. Okay, so this here is just them telling that they are attempting to do this to me. Right? It's the same as this one here. Okay, and if you look at the names Justin and Bieber, I'm sure you'll find some strong protector, vigilant, or something like that, or nobility, right? It has everything to do with what I'm talking about. So you people here are in the front in the front line of the war, right? Let's see what they recently released. Two galaxies form heart-shaped due to gravitational attraction. Let's look at the colors. What do we have? We have pink and blue, right? So this is them cursing, using hexes as usual, right? They're calling them antennae galaxies. Yeah? They're trying to form that connection, you know. And of course, for the auspicious day, they have to form a heart shape. They have to form a heart shape. They have to get the prince involved in their whole agenda for it to even be successful. Right? So now the op is like, for you who have understood what I'm doing here, you can do it for yourself. That's a good thing. You can do it for yourself. Pick any movie. Pick any movie. And it's going to be consistent with what I'm saying here right now to you. Okay? And I'm going to elaborate and make it even clear with a straight word. So as you can understand what I'm saying. Right? So here we have a situation where Will Smith in the movie I Am Legend. Basically, in the movie, people think that this guy is all alone and you know, and all of that. But then there are these people that were mutated, right? And he takes one of them and he basically mutates her, right? She mutates her and then gives him back, gives them back to her husband, right? So it's a theme. Yeah, there's a theme, right? Syringes, mutation, warriors going at each other, right? So this was a funny meme, huh? The army is rising, right? And we have also looked at this movie, right? Infinity, right? We have seen this Infinity, right? So let's move on. Let's move to what they call tarot cards. Tarot cards. These are like prophecies, but hidden, right? So on the first we have the same thing, right? We have fire one side, and the fruit, the other side, right? And the Baphomet, right? And then we have the destruction of this mountain, right? The kingdom. And then we have Aquarius, okay? These witches and sorceries actually know that this particular time is, they call it, I don't know, the age of Aquarius. You know, you can Google it. And of course, we have the white horse rider, right? Who is naked. Okay, most people, we talked about naked, right? Naked referring to David, right? Separated by a wall, and behind it is a sun. Okay, the wall is the Trump idea, right? And of course, we have two wolves from two different mountains howling at each other, separated. Okay, and wolves are also the same as lions. They are a symbol of nobility, princes and kings, and used wolves as their symbols over there, right? So it is that symbolism, right? Two kings going at each other, right? Howling at each other at this war. And then, of course, after that war ends, people get resurrected. Okay, so there is no secret here. There's no new thing they're saying with these cards. Okay, these witches are using the Bible. You know, they know the Bible, and they're keeping it secret, and they're playing dumb with humanity. Right? They're playing dumb with humanity with making movies like this, you know. This guy, the nerve, the nerve of mocking, right? And they continue mocking, yeah. They had AI making a sermon, right? People are listening to an artificial intelligence. You know, this is the holies of holies that was talked about, right? There where the monitor is was the before the coming of Christ was literally the holies of holies, right? Where that monitor is. So the devil is right now sitting in the holies of holies, and if that is not enough, he's also going to invade the new temple established by Christ himself, and he's going to put his throne upon there, right? As he's doing that with Elon Musk, right? Putting the Neuralink on top of people's heads, right? It is a symbol, okay? They didn't have to put it on top of the head, okay? It is a symbol. Everything on top denotes power of whatever is on the bottom, right? So yeah, with this simple stupid video, I just broke down the matrix for you, and let me put it in clear terms, right? This movie, this reality that we are living in, this entire world is a war field, right? And it was given to the enemy to win for the sake of salvation for a while, right? But again, the iron rod, Michael, the protector of Israel, the protector of the wealth, right? The large horns, the crown, right? Is the one to truly be in a role of leadership of Israel, okay? So since they know that is the fact, they want to, in this movie that I'm showing you in this situation, they want to go to heaven, right? This is what is symbolizing. They're going up to the light. They're coming out of this dome and climbing up the stairs, right? In this movie, apparently, it seems that they're acting as if they're inside. They're acting as if they're inside some cave, right? Big cave, and it has an opening, yeah? And there are ladders. You know, you can see the symbolism here, right? The ladders. One prophet saw angels moving across this ladder that goes forth from heaven to earth, right? And he saw angels coming back and forth using this ladder, right? Marvel calls it the thing that Thor uses to the rainbow bridge, they call it. Right? So it's the same thing, it's the same symbolism, right? There's always Michael and there's always Apollo or Artemis, whatever form this angel chooses to take. It's a woman or a man, right? But the hope remains the same, is to destroy one person and everything else falls apart. That's what they have in mind. So they have been making hexes, like we have been saying. Yeah, you can see the similarities in the color palette, right? They are trying to do something, right? And people need to be careful. That's why I'm repeating this thing, and that's why I broke this thing down for you right now. It's because this is what the scripture been saying, that the devil at one point will pretend to be a force for good. Yeah, to be a force for good. But deep inside, it will be just a deception, and that moment is now. Right? People are so deluded. They are so convinced, even the people around this guy, they keep amping up the rhetoric that this guy is not a normal guy. He must be sent here by God. Like, look, he overcame all of these charges and deep state is after him and he is a Christian and all of this nonsense. It's a deception, and people need to wake quick. People need to wake up quick. Okay, so if you like to practice what I just told you right now, just do it. Right? I've shown you the colors. Yeah, the most famous colors in film. Right? And of course, I've shown you the mass programming, the mass psyop that is going on what we know as Earth today. Right? So, yeah, that's what they're up to. Right? So if you didn't know, now you know. Now you know. It's all in their names. It's all in their names. Right? And if you can break their names and make sense of what they're saying, and you'll understand that this is just about the Prince of Israel and them. Plain and simple. Prince of Israel and them. Yeah. He married a girl named Harley or whatever. You can look up her name. You just enter the name and find the meaning. And trust me, you'll find the beast. Just like we found the beast in this picture. Mark Wahlberg, the mountain of the Mark. And the one God has given strength is over there in the back. Right? So yeah, that is the world for you. That is the theater that we call life today. And yeah, I'm in the midst of that situation, that whole mess. So I keep coming back to that same notion because that's exactly what is happening, right? I've shown you in the movies. Yeah? I can even do more movies if you want. Surely I can. Any movie you pick, you insert the names, find the meaning, and you'll find, okay, this one here is Michael, this one here is Apollo. So what is the conspiracy? And trust me, there is a conspiracy. There is always a conspiracy. And that conspiracy always involves the prince dying or going away, so as they can survive. Even the latest movie, that movie, The Creator, I will put it up. The next time we come here, I will put it up. Okay, I will use the kid's name, that kid that calls itself Alpha Omega, right? That is just blasphemous right there, right? The robot calls itself Alpha Omega, and actually the Denzel Washington kid. Okay, we shall put in their names and find their meanings, and you'll know. Okay, here is the prince, here is Apollo, and what is the conspiracy? Right? From the surface, you can already see what is what, right? But the names are important. The names of these actors, because in reality they are not really acting. Okay, do not take their names in the movie, take their names in real life. What is the name? What is the persona that was chosen for them? And that will tell you their role. Okay, so do not look for Wakanda Forever, look for Chadwick Boseman. Literally use that, Chadwick Boseman. Search for what Chadwick means and look what Boseman means. And then go to the foe, to the enemy, to the supposed enemy. Look up their real name. And trust me, you'll find the perversion that we are dealing with. Okay, so I will let this serenade in your mind. I will let this digest and make it like a game. Okay, that will help you break what we know as the movie Matrix. Okay, so this has been Michael, General Easy, Eric, signing out. Bye.